the escape route of the Pilgrims, our forefathers, to understand who they are, why they did what they did, and how we all got to where we are today. And what I discovered blew my mind and changed everything. My journey began in a sleepy little town called Babworth, England. And I met with this amazing woman who was a local historian and a pilgrim expert named Sue Allen.
Lovely to meet you.
Thank you, you too. I'm Kirk. It was cold, it was gloomy, kind of wet and overcast, and I felt like I stepped into a different world because I'm sitting on a bench and I've got dead people all around me. I've got the tombs and the tombstones of people that had been there since the year 1200. It was funny because as I was talking with her, it almost felt like she was there. I felt like she knew these people, like they were friends of hers, and she just brought them to life. When I think of pilgrims, I think of what I was taught in elementary school and history class. We think of pilgrims coming over in these funny black and white suits with big hats and belt buckles on their shoes and turkey guns.
No.
Who were the pilgrims?
Broadly speaking, they were part of the Puritan movement, and to really understand where they're coming from, you need to understand what a Puritan is.
Yes.
Because for the first time, the Bible is printed in English and put into every church, because until that point there were Bibles in English being smuggled into the country, and they were deemed to be heretical. You could be burned for having an English Bible.
And what was the fear of having English Bibles in the hands of the people?
What would happen if every Tom, Dick and Harry got to read the Bible for themselves and then started to study it, for goodness sake, and realised that the church in the Bible, as Christ had deemed it should be, was not this church with bishops in palaces growing rich when the parishioners were starving on the land?
People would then hold them accountable.
Precisely.
And they didn't want that.
And as soon as the Bible was in English, that started to happen.
For the first time, these people got Bibles in English that they could hold and study in their own hands, in their own homes, with their children. This to them was worth more than anything else, even more than their own life, because this was God speaking to them.
And it got to a point that by 1593, there was an act against Puritans brought in. And under that law, it became illegal to be a Puritan. Anybody that disagreed with Elizabeth's new church settlement got this name that you could spit out like a curse: Puritan. The state, the Queen, the monarch, used the clergy as their mouthpiece to control you.
And because of that, you had the government controlling the church and the church controlling the people. And so that's where you have the tyranny and the oppression that you can't get away from.
And the thought is coming to them, if this church can't be purified, maybe we should just separate ourselves away from all this unholiness. That's where the word separatist comes from. And that's the dangerous step, because you're stepping away from the church and you're denouncing the monarch in the same breath.
That's right. You're not just switching denominations, as we would think of switching churches today.
This is tantamount to treason.
By leaving the church.
Yes.
Here's a statue that they're showing here in Glimpse. It's called a Matrix Liberty, which is in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Basically, it's in a neighborhood and nobody really knows about it. I've never seen it. And then I'll be sharing that clip. You know, we think of the Pilgrims as, just the Thanksgiving story, but it gives basically what they went through in their struggles with England, and we can discuss it later. We'll develop a discussion group, and so this is about raising funds to develop that, which is a Mayflower Compact for today, 2018. It's April. So I'm just going to shut this off and pause and go to 3 other clips. It'll be a total of 5.